Hey everyone. So in this video, I'm going to look at a few factors that are causing GM to thrive, which includes some self-improvement and some good market macroeconomic factors helping GM. So let's get into it. Starting with some self-improvement here, with GM taking initial steps in the first quarter, implementing their $2 billion cost initiative, which we now expect to realize about half of that in 2023. The majority of this benefit is going to come in the back half of the year. So investors haven't seen most of the benefits from these cost cuts, which will come in the back half of this year. The performance based exits in roughly 5,000 individuals who participated in a voluntary severance program will drive approximately $1 billion savings towards this target. The remaining 1 billion will come from actions to reduce complexity across the portfolio and throughout the business in everything we do from vehicle design, engineering, and manufacturing, prioritizing their growth initiatives, claiming we simply cannot do everything. And this should be good news to investors' ears. As the cost of capital has risen, investors should look for companies to get more focused. Things that were positive net present value, which is a capital investing decision framework that companies use. Things that were positive NPV last year may not be this year because the cost of capital has risen by at least 500 basis points. So companies need to get more focused, and it's good to see GM is getting more focused. So a market factor working in GM's favor is their entire fleet of electric vehicles under the MSRP cap now qualify for the full 7,500 incentive this year. So that means consumers looking to buy GM electric vehicles qualify for a $7,500 incentive, making GM's cars much cheaper for consumers to buy. And of course, if the cars are cheaper for consumers, it's going to drive sales growth. So that's a market factor working in GM's favor. So GM is planning to balance supply with demand, and they've done a good job in constraining their supply, right? Keeping it limited in so that they can achieve higher prices for the cars. Earlier in the year, as production improved, when supply constraints started to ease, supply started to outpace the healthy and growing demand. And when GM noticed this, they said, you know what? We're going to proactively plan some downtime. We're not going to produce as much as we can possibly produce because that's going to increase supply, which could, bring down prices and profitability. Let's take some downtime here. Let's bring limit supply, which will allow us to sell these cars at higher prices. And so that allowed the us to end the quarter with US dealer stock flat compared to December. So compared to December of 2022 to the end of the quarter ending in March, their inventory hasn't increased all that much, or dealership inventory hasn't increased all that much. And if you recall, dealerships have been constrained in supply, causing some folks to pay above MSRP when purchasing a car. And it looks like GM is not in a hurry to increase supply to bring those favors back into consumers' balance. It likes that people are having to pay higher prices for cars because it's driving profitability. It's allowing GM to produce more of its higher profit margin vehicles, and it's driving cash flow as a result. So they like where they're at. They're not going to change things very much. You could see revenue of 40 billion was up 11% year over year. GM's not a company that grows double digits revenue very often. And adjusted auto free cash flow was essentially flat year over year, even though the company spent significantly in capital expenditures related to their EV investments. So GM is investing billions of dollars in its EV transition to electric vehicles, but this combination of self-improvement and market factors allowed its cash flow to be relatively flat even after the investments of billions of dollars. So it's allowing it to transition smoothly to a electric vehicle company. In the meanwhile, its cash flows are not suffering in the transition, which is an impressive feat to be sure. All right, but that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.